Thank you for joining me. Hope you're having a good day. Today we're going to continue our foray into Ultimate General Civil War. We are continuing our Valley campaign, and with the Battle of Cross Keys last mission, we filled out the rest of our army, so there's no need to do so at the beginning of this episode. So we're just going to go ahead and move on to Cross Keys. Again, the second major battle of Jackson's Valley campaign, which actually took place on the day right before Port Republic. Interestingly enough, they were actually fairly close in battles. In fact, after the Battle of Cross Keys, during the Battle of Port Republic, Jackson actually started moving troops from Cross Keys to Port Republic, just because there was really only like a bridge separating the two. That's how close they were. It was basically him holding off against two forces coming at him from different directions, and there's actually a pretty interesting story where I believe it was either the morning of the Battle of Cross Keys or the day before the Battle of Cross Keys. I can't remember, but Union, where Jackson was, where he actually had his headquarters. I forget the town that they were in. Might have been Cross Keys. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember the town name. But where he had his headquarters, Union Cavalry actually rode into the town that he actually had his headquarters and caused a bit of issues. Just a small, interesting story. It's sort of not quite a actual battle, but just sort of a small little raid. But that set up what would then come. Again, the Battle of Cross Keys and Port Republic. The Union keeps sending more troops to deal with our moves through the Shenandoah Valley. Our signal station on Massanutten, monitoring Union progress, reported 2 Union columns converging on your position under the command of General Fremont. The army of General Fremont is marching on the Valley Pike. Advance your force at Cross Keys and stop him. So, as you can see, because we defeated the enemy at Battle of First Winchester, they do have a smaller army size. We can take 10 brigades to the battle, and let's go ahead and just start the battle. The Federal brigades come into line and soon will attack your position. Mill Creek offers a good defensive position to repel the Yankees. Your main objective is to hold this passage, and the other one located southwards. You should expect superior forces, so use the terrain to your benefit to withstand the assault. Good luck, General. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, and as always, I like taking all my forces off the map, except for my General usually. Break them up by division. I don't know if it's true, but I always feel like if you break your forces up by division and keep them together, the chances of you losing a division commander seem to be lower. Not sure if that's actually true or not. Have the 2nd Division hold the southern crossing. We are going to go ahead and use both cannons for this battle. And we still have 2 more units that we can use, so let's go ahead and, from the 3rd Division, bring in Moody and Gibson, sort of have them up in the north here, guarding this passage. There isn't usually any forces that come up through this way, except sometimes Union Cavalry does, the AI does send them up that way. But just in case, we're going to have them up there, just so we don't get flanked. Alright, I feel like that's good positioning. What we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and break off skirmishers from every single unit, except for maybe the Dark Angels. We're going to have Iron Warrior skirmishers come this way. We're going to move all these guys up forward. Early skirmishers, let's put them in that farm location. Curtis's a little bit farther south into those woods. Kemper and Whitting. Go ahead and form these guys up into these woods. I always like putting people in forward positions in this battle just to slow down the enemy. Where did I send Kemper's? So we'll put his here, and we'll put Gibson's just to the north here. Just gives us more time to move into position, gives our artillery time to rain down fire onto them. It gives you sort of a forward position. Go ahead and move Kemper and Whitting into the middle woods with the Dark Angels in the rear. Cabell will, let's put him sort of right there. Bass we'll put right here. In which case we'll move Early here and Curtin here. And the Iron Warriors, where are we moving Bass? We'll sort of have them in this position. Sort of flanking the rear, acting as a rear guard. Go ahead and move Bliss and Bandit forward just so they're up there. We might have to shift them around depending on how the battle goes. And let's go ahead and fast forward, just to move things along a little quicker. As you can see, the creek does offer a pretty significant advantage. Even with skirmishers, you can see how much they slowed down just crossing the creek. Let's move Early forward a little bit more. I hate how skirmishers will retreat, but I also hate putting them into the sort of guard position. Just because when they're in that guard position, they won't turn to face an enemy. They will retreat after every volley, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Oh wow, I wasn't paying attention down here. Gibson's about to break. And I guess that's the point right there, is like when they get charged, they will retreat. But it still can get quite annoying. I feel like it should be triggered by how close an enemy unit is, and not so much after every time they fire. It seems a bit ridiculous that they retreat relatively every time they fire. And as I say that, the moody skirmishers make a liar out of me. Problem is too, they get shot in the rear if they do start to retreat. As I said, is most having my skirmishes up here act to the delay. As you can see, the timer is going down, so the less time they have actually fighting our main units, the better. But it also gives targets for my artillery as well. I think I will go ahead and reattach these skirmishers in the south. I wasn't paying enough attention, and now they've pretty much gotten overrun there. And they are sort of moving down my skirmisher line, so it might be time to at least get these guys back to a secondary position. They're broken. Maybe we can use Gibsons, buy a little bit more time. Move Moody back a little bit, trying to give him a little bit more cover in those woods. I can see better. Let's go ahead and move the Iron Warriors down a little bit more. So we are starting to slowly draw them in. The problem about these Southwoods is you actually can't get them in the stream as they cross. You gotta sort of wait. Now you are still gonna catch them in the open. Would probably be beneficial to probably have had my skirmishers up on the ridge here, just to, because again, you can do a lot more damage to units as they're in the streams here. They just, for some reason, always take more damage. I mean, it makes sense. You're sort of slowed down, so you become an easier target. Turn out. Get a volley in. Okay, stay. Hold your position. Move back him down here, seeing if they're getting attacked first. Currently, get back to your position. Stop moving forward, get back to your position. Thankfully he remained in the woods, so he didn't take too much of a flanking fire hit against him. He did have a lot of cover there. Union is pouring a lot of skirmish. This is where it would probably be beneficial. I might have been better to take maybe one of my cavalry units. I could have probably seen us taking some of these supplies, as well as taking out a few of the guns back here. Let's go ahead and reattach these skirmishers. Let them get their volley off. No, they're not going to. Alright, let's go ahead and reattach them as well, but let's not have them move up through the line of fire. That's why it's always nice to have a rear guard. Just because once they make melee contact, you get that extra volley in. It doesn't ever seem to cause too many friendly casualties, if any. Alright, Curtin, get back into position. Back into position. And that's the difference of having a well-disciplined army. As you can see, these guys are only 1 star, and not to mention they are only in charge of the colonel. So you tend to see that a lot where they sort of chase after the enemy. At least, again, this is my assumption. because they're not very disciplined. Whereas more disciplined troops, like say the Dark Angels up there, may not run after enemy unit after making a melee contact. We're doing really well down here in the south. We're even doing pretty good right here when you consider all we're doing is holding these guys off with skirmishers. Bass is out of ammo. In fact, all these guys are probably running low on ammo, so let's go ahead and move our baggage train. Only 33 kills, only 63 for capital. It shows you the difference between better weapons over, even though I do love the Napoleon, they aren't very great at long range. Once we let them get through the sort of river passage, I'm sure Capital's going to be doing much better. Which we are starting to lose our position at the river, or at the stream, so we are probably going to go ahead and start retreating our skirmishers. Sort of let them draw in at this point. That's insane. We're literally forcing full units to retreat with just skirmishers. I love it. Okay, sort of mounting up down here, which is interesting. I'm sure we'll do just fine though. Again, we got them in the open, sort of on an uphill slope too, by the looks of it. Again, this game doesn't make as well of a point of the terrain as the Ultimate General Gettysburg game did, which is disappointing a little bit. Other than how quickly troops moved, it doesn't seem to be a benefit to gunnery, like gunfire, of having the high ground. Like I said, they are amassing a pretty good sized force down there. Kemper skirmishers aren't really I sort of screwed up there. I should have waited to that volley, that way they didn't have their backs turned. Let me see, I might have each one of these guys get off one more volley and then move them back, reattach them to their main units. Just stand one more volley by the enemy. Yeah, that morale is definitely breaking. Bayard doesn't have enough morale. As you can see, he's just taking pot shots, which is what happens when your morale gets too low. Leroy, yeah. Oh, and he took out the entire unit, so let's go ahead and get these Iron Warriors out of here. Kemper's unit can reattach. Fortunately for Whitting, though. I'm sorry. That was a big group to have them break like that. I'm actually surprised Kemper's unit didn't break, but Whitting's did. Move Kemper back a little. Try and get him a little bit more into the woods. Draw them out of the woods a little more. Wow. Sorry, Bayard. See how all these guys do with ammo now. Pretty good, so we'll go ahead and move Bliss back to this sort of middle unit. Gordon hasn't even moved. I'm actually surprised. Again, not too surprising that these guys aren't seeing much combat. As I said towards the beginning, they don't normally send too many forces through the north here. Usually you see some cavalry or something. If they even have cavalry. It's been a long time since I played the Confederate campaign. Like I said, as I've said before, I usually play Union. Bayard's giving it another go, crossing the river here. And once again, he's being forced back. I do have a bit of a weak spot, but it seems like the crossfire here is just deadly. Especially since they keep trying to send a broken unit. I can't imagine his morale is that good as he keeps getting forced back. And we're holding pretty well in the south. Curtin's doing an excellent job. Definitely taking the brunt of most of our losses. How are our losses? Only got 6%. That's nothing. I think we might go ahead and speed this up. Just seeing as at this point we're just sort of watching the battle unfold. There goes Bayard again. It looks like he's giving up trying to cross the river, maybe? Tremont's there giving him support. Whitting is taking some casualties now. There goes Bayard. Have to slow it down. Looks like they are actually pushing. Early's going to be able to get a shot in. Thought maybe he might have been going for my guns, but he's going for Early, and I don't think that's going to work out for him at all. There goes the shot from the guns, and Bayard is broken. Once again. And he's officially routing. I'm not sure where he's actually going. They look confused. Are they really going to retreat towards me? Oh, he is caught in between a rock and a hard place. I'm sure Cabell's about to open up on him now again. Maybe with shot, he might be close enough for shot. Almost makes me want to get Dark Angels in. Maybe get a volley off on him. Volley. Whitting looks like they're gonna get a volley off on him. Poor Bayard. I know Whitting ended up going for Milroy. Probably the better option. Bayard pretty much is broken. 500 men out of it. Probably what? Probably 1,000 is what most of these units were starting with. I'm surprised Gordon has just stood there the entire time. Speeding it up again. All of these guys in the south are pretty much not even going to be effective against us. They pretty much have... I mean, we're pretty much even strength, but their units are just so ramshackled at this point. Look at Bayard. Can't call him a coward. He's trying it again. Okay, and there's our victory. So, pretty much even strength. We did outnumber them a little bit. We outnumbered them in the gun department as well. We lost one man on our guns. They didn't lose any. 1600 infantry for us, almost 1700. But yeah, 5300 losses for Fremont. Yeah, we easily held up all of our objectives. Curtin, yeah, he just dominated there in the south. Officers, Kemper was promoted, Bass was promoted, and goods. So we captured some more Lorenz rifles, that's always good. More Springfields, that's always great. Got some Enfields as well. Rescued some of our Mississippis. No cannon, obviously, because we didn't kill any cannon. And a lot more Sharps. Alright. And there we go, battle reward. Another 73,000 gold, 6,200 men. Gonna go ahead and add our point to our army organization, which does unlock our next two brigades. This one didn't unlock one because we did have Forrest. That being said, I am going to go ahead and move him down, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my first skirmisher unit, which will have, of course, looks like we might have to go, because I like having about 200 men in a sharpshooter. Usually about 250 is what I prefer. We might have to go with the non-scope Whitworths for right now. Definitely don't need a 2-star general in charge. In fact, we could probably do a captain, but I'll do a major. 150 men. Let's go ahead and make it 250. Make a nice 250 man skirmisher unit. Then for our final, we're actually going to go ahead and add another artillery unit. Again, putting in charge a major. Let's go ahead and make it a higher ranking or almost promoted major. So we are going to give him quite a bit guns. I think this one we will give him. Do we want to go? I want to go howitzers. I haven't got any howitzers yet. But then again, the next two battles are not defensive battles, so I don't know if I necessarily need howitzers. I might go ahead and give them the 10-pound Parrott rifles that we've been buying up.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and give them all 9 of those. Alright, now let's go ahead and fill in the rest of our brigades, bring him back up to 1750, and go ahead, give everybody else back up to 2,000. But now, I don't know how long I'll keep these guys at 2,000. Like I said, 1750 is usually what I keep them at to prevent scaling. But early game, I'll go ahead and just keep them at 2,000. Not like we're really spending any money to put them up that high. We do have a lot of guns in reserves. And go ahead and fill up Moody as well. And that's it, everyone. I think we do need to add another, was it him who lost a man? One of these guys lost a man, it said. It doesn't seem like it. Alright, well, my dog is going crazy, so I'm going to see what that's about. But thank you all for watching. Next episode, we'll do the final battle of the campaign, of the Valley campaign, and then move on to Gaines Mills. So again, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I really appreciate it. Have a good one.